That's right, Fence fans. This was our Super Bowl. Still can't talk real good, especially talk loud, but we're going to talk about it because the Miami Dolphins just throttled the Buffalo Bills 30-13. We got a lot to talk about because of it. And before I even really get started, let me shout out to Jeff because he texted me and those words said it best. Where has this team been all year? Oh, beautiful game. Now, before everybody comes, I know all you Tua haters, yes, he threw two really bad interceptions, especially the one at the beginning of the game. The late one, it was as good as a punt. It really was. He's just kind of trying to throw it up, whatever. The one at the beginning of the game, not the time to try to throw up a Hail Mary to Jalen Waddle, even though Waddle did have a really good game. Other than those two interceptions, Tua was efficient. 15 of 21, 173 yards, most of that in the first half. Had the two touchdowns. Yes, the two interceptions were bad. They were ugly. And it is what it is with Tua. He's not going to be here. We all know that for the most part. But Devon Achane, I love this kid. I love this kid so much. 22 carries, 174 yards, 7.9 yard average, 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 catches for 51 yards. Jalen Waddle had 5 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. And to be honest, now Malik Washington had the other touchdown. But to be honest, that was your offense. That was the offense for the whole game. Achane 6 catches for 51 yards. Waddle 5 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. And then Achane rushing for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tua delivered, other than those passes to those two gentlemen, he completed 4 passes to 3 other receivers. Malik Washington had 2 of those catches. Nobody else. But at the same time, those guys made the plays. And we talked about it in some video past. We'll put it that way. Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, that is the future of the team, and they showed it today on the offensive side of the ball. Not all great. Like I said, the 2 interceptions by Tua, horrible. There was some bad calls in this game. And before Buffalo fans come at me, yes, there was some bad calls going you guys' way as well. Now, I will say the main 2 I want to talk about as far as the Dolphins go is the penalty at the beginning of the game, and then you had a timeout. Before the game starts, you give away a timeout. Again, I do not understand McDaniel on these timeout issues. We've had them since he's been here. But he calls a timeout before the game really even starts. But it was a horrible flag for the false start on Ingold, who was in motion. How do you get a false start when you're in motion? That was a horrible, horrible call. You also had the Bradley Chubb 15-yard penalty for taunting. And the only thing I can figure out is the fact that he crawled over the top of Josh Allen to get up to celebrate. And I still don't. Either way, he's got to get off of him. He didn't celebrate nowhere near nobody. He didn't go in anybody's face. That was also a really crappy call. Now for the Bills. The catch that wasn't a catch. Absolutely should have been reviewed. The Dolphins shouldn't have got a first down there. Because it was clearly, it kind of came out at the bottom when Westbrook caught it. So that would have been overturned. I really don't know what happened there with the referees not stopping the play. The red flag was thrown by the Bills. So I don't really believe in makeup calls in the NFL, but maybe that was one. Like I said, there was some bad calls in this game. So if Bills fans want to get up, that did not cost you the game. Before anybody starts yelling about referees, did not cost you the game, and we're going to get into that. Turnovers cost you the game. Back to the Dolphins, however. On defense, Fitzpatrick showed up big today. 6 tackles, including a big 4th down stop. Still cannot believe the Bills threw it on 4th and less than a yard. It might have been a yard. Now, that was one of the timeouts that McDaniel spent as well. Was right before they ran that play, he called a timeout. I still don't like that timeout call, but they were definitely going to throw the football. Maybe it did tip them. So even if it was the right call, I still didn't like that call because he did it later, again on 4th down, and the Bills were running the ball, and he calls a timeout before they get the play off. And of course, they just still run the ball. The chances of you stopping that play are slim and none, and you're just going to give up your timeout. So I feel like it's another case of McDaniel overthinking the situation. So it did work out on the first 4th down play. Great play by Fitzpatrick. Brooks, again, we talked about him. He leads the league in tackles. He had 6 tackles and 6 assists in this game. So great job. Brooks was all over the field. Wrapped up, really kept James Cook in check the whole game. I've seen several times that Brooks got him in the backfield near the line of scrimmage, or got him by the time he was at 1 or 2 yards. Great game by Brooks again. Dotson had 5 tackles and 4 assists. And then Jack Jones had the punch out on Cook. No Bills fans, his knee was not down. But Jack Jones was another guy that was all over the field and played great. And then Malafanu with the pick, when it looked like the Bills were finally going to get on the board, kept the score at 16-0. This defense played amazing. They had 3 sacks. Chubb, Willie Gay Jr., and Sealer. All 3 come up with a sack. And the other factor was Jake Bailey. Do y'all remember when we were calling for Jake Bailey's head last year? Why is he on the team? Why are we giving this guy any money? And then they bring in Stonehouse, I believe his name was, to challenge him for the punting position. And everybody, including me, I will be the first one to say, why have we not cut Jake Bailey? Why have we not cut Jake Bailey yet? We signed Stonehouse. Why is Bailey still on the football team? Well, this is a second video where I had to take both of my feet out of my mouth and give him some props, because again, Jake Bailey had another terrific day punting. And you don't ever talk about punters, but it has to be said. He had 3 punts, 2 inside the 20, and 1 beautiful, beautiful drop inside the 5-yard line. Jake Bailey is playing at a Pro Bowl level this year. Now, I don't know if it'll go that far. I don't follow punters. I don't know a lot of people that do. But he has gotten my attention, even in all of the debacle that is the Miami Dolphins. Jake Bailey is playing extremely, extremely well. We'll get to the Bills. Josh Allen, 28 out of 40, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and then he also had the fumble. Why he didn't go down, I don't know. He was just trying to carry. He was literally trying to do the whole, I'm going to carry my team and the Dolphins on my back. And the Dolphins chopped that ball out, and here we go again. Another turnover after he had just put the team on his back. And Josh Allen played out of his mind today. So Bills fans, yes, he had the turnovers. I understand that. And he did not have a great first half. But Josh Allen done Josh Allen things the way he always does. He really did. Josh Allen played a heck of a game, regardless of what. I know people are going to come and say, boy, Josh Allen just played horrible. No, he didn't have his best game, but he did not play horrible. He was still, the fourth down, I think he had 2 fourth downs that were huge that he completed where we had him dead to rights, just couldn't get him down. And he throws one, I think it was to Shakur, and I don't remember who the other one was. And just time after time, when you think you got him, you don't. He is Superman. And he still did Josh Allen things in this game. It was one of those times where it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. We kept James Cook in check. 53 yards on 13 carries. He still had over 4 yards a carry. It's like they just kind of gave up on the running game. And of course, James Cook had the long run. That's part of his 53 yards. They kept him in check except for that long run in which he fumbles. Jack Jones punches the ball out, fumbles at the end of it. So that yardage counted, and that was his biggest run of the day. The Dolphins done a great job of containing James Cook. He also had 5 catches for 24 yards. Shakura, 7 catches for 58 yards. Kean Coleman, 3 for 46 yards and a touchdown. And then also Jackson Howes had a touchdown, which apparently that's all he does is catch touchdowns against the Dolphins. He has 2 this year, both of them against the Dolphins. Insane. On defense, Cole Bishop, the safety, 6 tackles, an assist, and he also had one of those crummy-looking interceptions that Tua threw. Maxwell Hairston had the other interception, and the Bills had 0 sacks. This Bills team does not like playing Tua. At least their front 4 does not. The thing they have done well, and it's what they done against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a 5-7 step drop quarterback. And they got to him with 4 guys in that Chiefs game and dominated. The difference is Tua getting, it is one of his talents, whether you want to admit it or you don't. He gets the ball out so quick. In the first game, even though the Dolphins lost it by 10, the Bills defense only pressured Tua twice and didn't have any sacks. And in this game, same thing, 0 sacks. Because he is like a 3-step and throw. They have trouble with Tua in that sense. We'll get to team stats real quick. Total yards, of course, the Bills had a lot of yards passing in the second half. They were trying to catch up. 376 yards. The Dolphins 370. And here is your big stat, is the rushing. Rushing yards. The Buffalo Bills were held to 87 yards with Josh Allen and James Cook. The Miami Dolphins had 197. Run the ball. 197 yards rushing. Outstanding. Third down efficiency, the Dolphins were 3 of 9. The Buffalo Bills were 5 of 15, but they kept them in check in that first half. They did not have a single third down conversion. Of course, I didn't write it down. I don't know how I missed that, but fourth down, the Dolphins didn't go for it at all. The Bills went for it twice and went for it 3 times, I believe, and got 2 of them. The only one that they didn't get was the one that was the big breakup by Fitzpatrick that they decided to throw the ball on. And then I think they ran for 1 fourth down, and then they had the big, and that actually may have been a 3rd down that I'm thinking about, where he scrambled and scrambled and scrambled and finally got it. I can't remember if that was a 3rd down or a 4th down. So they were either 1 of 2 or 2 of 3. I'll just put it that way on 4th down. You had sacks. The Dolphins had 3. We talked about that. The Bills had 0 penalties. The Dolphins 5 penalties for 35 yards. The Bills 6 penalties for 67 yards. And then you had the time of possession, which the Dolphins owned in the first half. But the Bills did catch up a little bit in the second half. The Dolphins still win time of possession, 31-23 to 28-37. Not a big thing other than what you do with that time of possession. I think time of possession is overrated. But in this case, they kept Josh Allen on the sidelines and they scored points. That's your game. And this is our Super Bowl. We may not win another game this season. And your boys certainly did not think that we had an opportunity whatsoever to win this ball game. And if anybody out there comes on here, leaves a comment, and said, "Oh, I know the Dolphins was going to win this. I had no doubt that the Dolphins would," you are a liar. Nobody, except maybe the Dolphins, and I don't know if half of them thought they would win this game, but other than a few people that was in that locker room, in that Dolphins locker room, are the only ones that thought they had a shot at this. I certainly didn't. I picked the Bills by 20 points. And as a matter of fact, I picked the Bills to win this game by 20 and 13? I got to do math now. And they lost by 17. Yeah, they lost by 17. So, hats off to the Miami Dolphins players and coaches. There's still things I didn't like that Mike McDaniel did, including a couple of the bubble screens, but I didn't see many. I've only seen like a couple of bubble screens. He's kind of pulled those screens in where they're a little bit more inside and throwing like a quick screen this way rather than all this out here. He did throw 2 or 3 of them. But in general, I thought the play calling was pretty good. I didn't think it was that bad. The timeouts thing, that really bugged me, especially the first one. And I honestly didn't like any of those timeouts. It just happened. One of them, they lucked up and it worked. Fitzgerald made a great play on the ball. But I didn't like any of those timeouts that were called. 2 of them on 4th down. And, of course, the one to start the game. And I don't really know what he was trying to accomplish other than to say Ingold is in motion, which you could see. Ingold was in motion. There's no way that's a penalty. Now, if they did like an illegal shift, but that's not it either, because it was not an illegal shift. There was nothing wrong with the play. This was not a false start. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if maybe another player, and I looked at the thing, I thought, oh, well, they probably just called it on the wrong guy. I never seen a Dolphin move. If somebody else thinks it was somebody else on that offensive line that moved, I didn't see nobody move except for Ingold, and he was in motion. So, that being said, Dolphins fans, enjoy this one. It doesn't get, we beat the Buffalo Bills. It never, ever happens. It's that my daddy did not want me to be in a rock band. I'm supposed to work at his factory, and you stood up to him. That's what this game was. You stood up to your daddy in that sense. And by the way, don't talk back to your daddy. But still, I'm just saying that's as close as I can get to that feeling, because Josh Allen has owned this football team. And today, and for at least a week, Dolphins fans, be proud, because it doesn't get, honestly, again, we may lose the rest of the season. We may not win another game after this. But this one feels good. This one feels really, really good. Not to mention there's a couple of Bills fans that I have to work with all the time. It'll just be happy. It'll just be nice to smile a lot. Yeah. Guys, make good decisions, and fins up, baby.